Welcome back, Commodore fans. Today I've got a quick update of my 1541 Navigator app, which is available on the App Store, so check it out if you're interested. Hi there, this is Future Ken. Sorry to interrupt my own video, but I have an announcement. I regret to inform you that 1541 Navigator has been delisted from the EU App Store. This is due to recent changes in listing requirements that I, as an independent developer, was not prepared to agree to at this time. However, if you are an EU customer that has already purchased Navigator, thank you, and you will still receive free updates. And now, back to the video. First off, I've added support for GEOS user-created files. Personally, I never used GEOS much back in the day, although it was really cool to have a graphical user interface for the Commodore 64. It was kind of slow and unresponsive, even with two 1541 drives to work with. My only practical use of GEOS was using the GeoWrite application to print out labels for VHS tapes, and also print an index of my photo slides as shown here. On the right is an actual printout from 1986 that is still taped to the box. Okay, let's have a look at some GEOS files in Navigator. I've created a disk with user files from various GEOS applications, so let's get that loaded and take a look. As you would expect, GeoWrite word processing files are easily parsed, and it's easy to cut and paste them into a modern text editor. Just select the text, copy, then paste into your favorite word processor. Then just clean it up, correct any typos, and you're good to go. So if you have any documents from 40 years ago that you want to extract and preserve, I've got you covered. The text scrap files are blocks of text that have been copied from one document and are available to paste somewhere else. A strange thing about these files is that the case is reversed for the lettering. I have no idea why it's stored this way. If you know, leave me a comment. Now let's take a look at the home computer document. It has a photo scrap file inserted into it. Here's what it looks like in GeoWrite. It's just a simple graphic I created with GeoPaint. Back in Navigator, you can see that the text has been extracted, and there is a link to the graphic data, which is stored at the end of the file. On the subject of graphic files, GeoPaint files are not rendered as graphic images. I am still researching ways to parse and display GeoPaint files. For now, all you can view is the hexadecimal bytes of the file. Next, we have a NotePad document, which is just a simple text document. Here's what it looks like in GEOS. And here we have a GeoDex file. This is a contact list containing names and addresses. The data is extracted as readable text. Here it is in GEOS. There are 3 contact cards in this file. We have Matson, Robert J., Miller, Sarah S., and Smith, John Z. Switching back to Navigator, we can see the first contact, Robert Matson, the address, city, state, and phone number. Following that, we have Sarah Miller and John Smith. All of the contact data is there, so again, if you happen to have a 40-year-old GeoDex contact list, you can now extract and preserve it. Next, we have a GeoCalc spreadsheet file. This is a simple checkbook register, and here is what it looks like in GeoCalc. Back in Navigator, obviously I'm not reconstructing the spreadsheet cells, formulas, and calculated values. However, you can still view the extracted text and get an idea of what the file contains. Alright, moving on to a GeoFile database. When viewed, there appears to be a lot of dead space at the beginning of the file. But as we get to the bottom, we do see the actual user-created data. Here's what it looks like in GeoFile. It's a simple inventory list with just 3 items. And going back to Navigator, we see that the data is all present. Here is a 3COM 56K modem, serial number 8765123. So at least you can see what's in the file and even export it out if you wish. Okay, let's switch disks to the GeoProgrammer sample disk. To my surprise, I found that GeoProgrammer source code files are saved as GeoWrite document files and are displayed as such. Here's the same file in GeoWrite. Note the format and structure, which is very similar to source code files you would see today. Switching back to Navigator, you can see the structure is mostly intact. If you so desire, you can extract the code into a modern editor as demonstrated before. Although I have to say there wouldn't be much you can do with the code outside of the GEOS environment. Okay, that wraps up GEOS user-created files. Let's move on to the Epyx BASIC Toolkit, which is a basic extension utility that adds graphics, sound, and other useful functions to BASIC. So let's load the Epyx BASIC disk and take a look. Navigator can now parse and display program files created with Epyx Toolkit BASIC. Unfortunately, the Epyx BASIC Keywords token overlap with the BASIC 7.0 tokens. To see the correct keywords, the user will have to select the Epyx tokens from the menu bar when viewing Epyx BASIC programs. And as you can see, the change takes place immediately and will remain in effect until a new disk image is loaded, when it will revert back to the default token set. So keep that in mind. The final new feature involves viewing Vision BASIC programs. The previous update to 1541 Navigator added the ability to parse and display programs created with Vision BASIC. In this current update, Navigator can now display the metadata for Vision BASIC programs if present. The metadata is added using Vision BASIC's File command and selecting the Details tab, where you can add the program name, section title, author, date version, and a short description of the program. Getting back to Navigator, let's take a look at my coin program prior to adding metadata. And here it is with the metadata added. Okay, everybody, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and be careful out there.